You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about my four favourite subjects. That's movies,
TV shows,
video games,
and board games.
I'm your host, Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. This week's episode is an episode our good friend Gokul has been waiting to do for a very long time.
I'm so happy.
We are going to be talking about our top 5 video game accessories of all time.
Yes.
And when we say that, we mean these accessories that make our video game experiences a whole lot better. Yes. I'm joined around the table of other guys that love to talk about video game accessories. Introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hi, it's JK47 back again.
Hello, it's Gokul, the Sharp Assist.
Hey guys, it's Gal, aka Grey Fox.
Gay Fox, how are you, sir?
Gay Fox.
It does everything. I'm changing my name, man.
So Gokul, we finally did it, sir.
Finally.
We've been talking about this
so
in
good.
season 1. I shit you not.
I know, seriously. I remember we sat down, we were like brainstorming episodes, and I was like, game peripherals. We've got to buy controllers, man. So we're doing it. Like, it's taken 2 years.
Are we really scraping the barrel on subjects now? Or?
I think it's getting a little interesting now, right?
Yeah, I think it's quite a good topic to talk
Yeah,
about.
no one really talks about it, and being different is good, right?
Nice, yeah.
People
Something
just
different from like the normal top 5, something a little bit different, yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, how were your lists though, guys? Did you get the lists all good? Controversial?
Yes and no, not really.
I'm intrigued about yours, John. I mean, how many PC accessories are there?
Controversial.
Quite a lot.
This one's going to be like...
There's going to be a vibrator in
No,
there.
keyboard.
It's going to be like...
No, some of them are obvious things.
Got a dildo
obviously,
for a
that you
joystick.
need, But,
No, even if it's like the typical obvious, then that's
yeah,
fine.
I've not necessarily put them in order of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sort of thing. I'm just going to name 5 peripherals and.
Nice.
Go with it.
Probably going to have a Dell keyboard.
There will be 5, shall we say? Let's put it that way.
So we'll do the normal thing then, and we'll do our questions, and we'll go into our obviously top 5s. So obviously the first question is, we all know accessories are like essentially a cash grab, if you will, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
But do you think they are actually worth it at all?
It depends on the item.
Depends.
Definitely.
Yeah. So different games, different accessories. So if you've got a flight simulator, you have to use like either a joystick to start off with. Now things are so advanced, you get the whole steering wheel, the flight yoke, the pedals, you know. Same with like racing games, steering wheel,
pedals. Exactly.
But would you prefer that or just a normal controller?
See,
No, it's part of the experience.
Why don't you just become a fucking pilot then?
Because it's too expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah.
Why do the real thing when I can do it at home?
I think if the game's made properly, like we've mentioned a few games before in the last podcast, and how they invoke emotion in you when you play the game, and in other words, they have a lasting memory of them. Certain games like Need for Speed games, stuff like that. For me, obviously, I'm a PC player, and these are all console players. But from a PC point of view, for me, I was waiting for that.
That's good.
The game seems to flow better if you've got a driving wheel and pedals, and you actually kind of feel more immersed in the game. And I know some people like you were saying, like you just play it with a controller. Yes, you can. Or a keyboard or a mouse or whatever, but it kind of just brings something else to the table.
Yeah,
really.
it's like you said,
It adds
John,
a different level to that game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I think the key word here is immersion. It's like you said, John, right? So depending on the game, you bring that next level of immersion, and like it's good you mentioned that, and because so recently when I bought my Xbox Series X, one of the reasons,
Series X,
like there were so many games I wanted to play on it, like the Gears of Wars and Halo. But there's something in it where I wanted to play because I know a lot of people got into it. And I think one of your colleagues, Gatwick, was getting into it because he was live streaming Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
Yes,
and you know, just because of the fact that it was all in real time and it mapped the whole world, and you can fly down to your house and you can see your house. Like, you know, this game's amazing. So I wanted to give it a go, and I played it on the Series X controller, and I thought, this is good. But then
let's take this to another level.
Exactly. And everyone in the forums were like, you have to get a joystick for this. And I bought a joystick for about 20 quid or whatever. I plugged it in, and it was incredible. Like,
it worked just right.
It just made it, and it worked really good. And it, in a sense, like, it made you, like, I was.
Now he's a pilot.
Yeah.
He's a pharmacist and a pilot. And obviously a podcaster at the same time.
Did you all see Gal's face when he said that was so wicked?
He was like proper serious every day.
He's
so
sipping a coffee at the moment and musing over
Caffeine's
things.
kicking in.
He's like, no, he's a pilot.
Oh my god!
No, going back to Ant's
We need to like, oh my god.
going back to Ant's question, I think there's a bit of both, a bit of money involved and a bit of
course,
for the game it's what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got an additional device that makes it your experience so much better, it's down to the individual.
Yeah.
But some of the items are like money grabs, like different color controllers, etc. Blah blah blah. But at the
I
end
don't
of the
buy.
day,
I don't buy into all of that. But yeah, it depends on the game.
Totally.
You know,
100%.
It's like I remember. I mean, I had a Nintendo Switch, and I loved the idea.
You
not
did?
Not Nintendo Switch. Sorry, Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
And I loved the idea of standing in front of the television and using the controller like you were playing tennis and baseball and so.
That was incredible.
And I just thought, man, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
And all it was the little controller in your hand. But obviously, you could buy a racket and you could buy stuff,
additional stuff to make it. Whatever.
And again, it makes. I mean, the game felt good just by throwing a controller around in your hand. But like you say, if you buy a racket version of one and put the racket in your hand. I mean, I had a steering wheel for cars. Yeah. I had a gun that you put it into for Call of Duty, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It does. It kind of like I said, it's like we just said, though, it's immersion. It does make you feel more a part of the game. In a sense. It seems stupid, a simple piece of plastic, but
it adds to the effect.
It does, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So John's obviously kind of answered the question a little bit for himself, but for you two guys, do you feel like you have a better experience when you have these accessories on that certain game? Like Gokul, you mentioned the joystick as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Is it better to have it with that?
It is. I can't go back to the controller now.
I think it depends on the person, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your casual gamer won't bother with it. But someone who's big into flight sims will. So,
absolutely.
You know.
I think like
no, he's a pilot.
I think obviously it's like I think it's down to the play and what type of games you're playing. If you're into get for example car games, you get every year for a Forza or a GT or whatever, you're going to have the gear sticks, and all that. Totally. But as you're casual gamers, or me personally, I'm not big into my car games or flight simulators or anything like that. But if I have a game like I don't know, like a Time Crisis, I'll probably go out my way to get those pistol things. Yeah. But not like I wouldn't adventure out, go get the hardcore high-end joysticks or anything like that. I might even double think about getting even an elite controller or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's down to the individual. Individual.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I must admit. I mean, I'm more a PC person now. Even and okay, I have got a Series X, but I play PC games via the Series X on my TV and stuff like that. So. You know, but I'm in awe, really, of people who can play those kinds of games on a controller, because I've got no idea whatsoever, and that's why I play the PC games, because I've grown up with PCs. I used to build them, I game on them, and I still game on them now.
Fair enough.
So I've got, like I say, I've got a Series X, I've got a controller and a whole lot, but I can't. My brain can't work around the controller. So I have. That's my limit.
His top 5 is going to be very interesting. So how far or how much should I say you're willing to spend to play a game that requires a certain accessory?
Ooh, Yeah.
You say that again?
Depends on the game.
How far would go?
How far would you go? Like, how far would you spend to play a certain game? Like, for me, I really want to play Alex, but if I want to play it properly, the VR system you need for it is over $1,000.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Would you go that far?
I'm the same.
If I had $1,000, yes.
Oh, exactly. And it's funny because I work at an airport and
now you do a podcast.
Yeah, I still work at the airport. I work at the airport and funny enough, I met a passenger the other day. I was chatting away to him and I had to sort his baggage and stuff like that. And he was a gamer. And he had 2 laptops, you see, and I said to him, I see. So which one's for business and which one's for gaming? And he said, this one's for gaming, and it was an XPS game, not the highest end of, but at the end of the day, he's a gamer. And it's funny enough, we got talking about Half-Life Alyx and VR and that, and he was saying it's such a shame that there aren't more big VR games like that because it's a lot of money to pay to just play one game. So the fact that they've made the game for me is great. Please hurry up and make some more so that I can justify spending that kind of money.
Just for one game.
To then look say, I've got 6 or 8 games I can play on it now. At the moment, there's only there's lots of VR games. Don't get me wrong, but there's only the one that we really want to play. So
no, I think they're more of a focus now on VR.
Yeah.
So we're going to see quite more, I think. Yeah. But again, back to the question. If I had the money, maybe. Yeah, but I wouldn't go.
Right, let's change up the question up for a bit for you, Gail, because obviously you're not for VR or not. So let's say a certain Switch game requires you to need let's just say there's a made up add-on for the Switch. It's going to cost you a couple £100 for one game. Are you going to go that far? Let's say the next Zelda needs like a fucking extra joypad or something to connect to control the horse or something. I don't know, whatever.
If I had that much money, or I'll probably end up trading a few games in to get it. Maybe.
But you would go that length to get it, though, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't need it, but would you go that length?
But can you play it without it, though?
Well, the question is, requires it? So you would need it.
Yeah.
It's a bit like us with the
I think yes.
Yeah?
I think yes, yeah.
You would find a way.
So that's the question. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'll probably. But obviously, if I don't have the money, I'll just probably trade a few games or whatever. Like that sense.
You'd find a way of doing it.
Yeah. So yes, then that's a yes for me. Yeah.
Right.
But obviously, if it's got to be a reasonable amount, like maybe a couple hundred. If it's in the thousands or something like that,
let's just say. I mean,
it's interesting because, like, for example, the new Gran Turismo that came out, they were saying, like, you can play it on the controller, but for the proper experience, you get, like, the proper Logitech
and that's the key phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, and for people who can afford
and
it,
that's how they hook you in.
It's worth it, but it's good. And for example, another game that kind of, like, we mentioned this on a previous podcast was, Alien Isolation.
Yeah,
I wanted to play. I was literally going to go into CX and buy a Kinect just so I can play that.
Oh wow!
See, it's an interesting thought, But I couldn't find it. You recommended that. You actually did say it's good to get the Kinect and play. And I wanted to do that through the first playthrough rather than using a controller because I think that level of immersion, like, you haven't really experienced it, and while it's there, you might as well go in headstrong with it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than using a controller. So. It's interesting to say that because I was actually thinking of going in. And even though the Kinect was like £40, I thought it'll be worth it.
Just for the one game.
Did you actually play the whole game in like that? Or?
Absolutely, yeah.
That must be.
That was the first time I played it as well.
That must have been so good.
But that was when the Xbox One came with it. So you had to have the Kinect at the time. When Xbox One first came out, you had to have it with it, didn't you? They made it like a requirement. Obviously, it wasn't the case in the end. But I had to have it then. And I didn't think it... But when I bought it, I didn't realise it could do that with the Kinect. Because when it loads up on there and you have a Kinect adapter, it says, you can do this version with this here. Press bit such and such to do it. I thought, you know what, let's just give it a go. And it wasn't required, but it was a hell of an experience to do it.
Yeah, man.
That must
and I recommend anyone who can get hold of an Xbox One or whatever it is and just do it. It's very hard to get hold of to play on your Xbox One now, but
I bet.
It's worth it 100%.
Just for that immersion.
Just for that. I don't really have anything else left, but apart from one more question. So the future of accessories, do you think they will come up with other ideas to make us spend our hard-earned cash? And would you do it?
Ooh. Yeah,
I think so. I think
let's just say there's another Switch console that's not in your collection, Miguel.
Because he's got nearly every one of them as it is.
I think I have a feeling we're gonna get like a new sort of invention where we're gonna lose the actual controllers. And we're going to have it in our hands, sort of thing.
Like a cross between the VR controller and...
Almost like a Switch controllers.
Yeah.
But the controllers are not there. It's it's like some sort of glove type thing. I was just going to say, like a glove. And it's just like that.
They've been talking about doing something like that for years.
But I don't know. But
you can't tell me they're not far off doing it now.
Yeah.
So let's go with an example. Like, obviously, PlayStation have announced their VR2 headset, which is now more expensive than the actual console itself. Now, is that something you think, does it justify that? I mean, like John said, it's come up with a few games of it, so it is not just for one game. But the future of it, what the possibilities do you think that the £600 price will be worth it in the end?
I don't think me personally, as much as I want to do VR gaming, but I don't think I'm willing to go that much up for a price. I reckon they need to be smart about it and go. I don't know. I'm not a super scientist, one of those guys. But I think to get to someone like me, who's maybe not I'm not the most well-earning person, but someone like me, definitely don't want to target someone like me. I think it needs to go in somewhere around 200, 250 bracket.
So you're willing to do it just at a lower price?
Yeah, a lower price, 100%. But I don't think at the moment where things are going, I can hardly afford a game a month, sort of thing. So that when I'm putting aside money for another console and stuff like that. So I would 100% get VR, but I think for me it's a price.
It's also the room. Have you got the room?
Yeah, but let's
just not talk about like VR, for example. Like, do you remember Starlink when that came out?
Yeah, I remember.
Like, it required you had to have a toy to attach to it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of stuff like that?
The gimmicky stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Anything like
that's quite cool.
Again, it depends on the game.
Yeah, because you can literally take it off and it will change in the game as well.
That's so good. Cool. That's really cool.
Anything gimmicky is. If I think deems pretty good, I'll go for it. Like even like if you get those, I think the Switch do. I'm never going back to controllers. They do their own sort of color LED lights controllers, and they're quite chunky like the Xbox as well. So those kind of things, I'll look into it, look at the reviews, and I'll probably get one of those ones, stuff like that.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I think, because in the future, because now, I think the big thing now with the metaverse and stuff like that, everyone wants to do the whole VR thing, I mean, like Facebook have already decided that the future is in VR.
But to be fair, they are bringing the cost of the Oculus system
It's coming down. That's the thing.
It's about £400 or £500 now when it was £1,000.
Yeah, because like the raw materials to make it are much cheaper, so therefore it's driving the price down. Competition is driving it down. So it's good. And like, I think in the future, you're going to see that. And I have a friend that I went to Greece. Like a group of us went to Greece, and he pulled out this little device, and he works. I can't say anything more. It's very high tech, but he's a games developer, and he's an entrepreneur himself and stuff like that. So he's working with like big companies like Epic Games and stuff like that. He's doing talks with them right now. I can't say anything more. It's very confidential. He's entrusted me, but he's literally pulled out these like sunglasses that you can wear. This I'm allowed to talk to, and literally sunglasses, but you can play video games in it with shock pads, and you can feel every bullet.
Nice.
We were literally there, drunk on the back of a boat in Greece, feeling this, and it was the best. We literally played a demo of Battlefield 1, and it was the most. Couldn't believe it. God. How this is the future right here.
On sunglasses,
do you know? Like you wear the sunglasses, you got the shock pads here, and you can feel it. Yeah. So that's the next level of immersion. You can see that all coming.
Are they literally just sunglasses?
It's basically you wear this, and the screen is there.
Could you imagine if like you were
VR, the future of VR? Right?
So could you imagine if they don't see it?
Yeah,
like someone over there, like
and someone's eyes,
and it's why do you keep looking at me? And it's like a woman who's like, oh, he's staring at me. It's like, why does he keep looking at me?
Looking at me.
Some bitch and trying to play Battlefield 1.
Fantastic, exactly. Trying to play Battlefield 1, but like rapid eye movement.
You still have the control of. So obviously to put the glasses on your TV screen or whatever,
and you got the shock pads to feel it. So that's kind of where it's going. So imagine the price point of that would be expensive.
The shock pads thing sounds very Ready Player One, doesn't it?
Blew my mind.
Because you've got a company there, because I think it's Woozer they're called, and they're big into these shock pads and stuff. So like you say, I can see them getting big contracts with some of these big companies and bring this thing. Because like if Microsoft turn around next year and say, right, the next Xbox or next evolution of the Xbox is going to be whatever it is, but it's £400 retail. But if you pay £700, we'll include this VR headset and whatever. Would you pay the extra? Because personally, I probably would, because if they're going to include it, they're not going to include it and only have the one bloody game you can play on it. It's bound to be quite a few
people,
and that might be a way of getting people into like VR in more so, shall we say?
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if they did something like I would buy the next Xbox and pay the extra and have something like that included.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably pay for it if I could.
Nice.
Yeah, depending on how.
Hopefully, we can get. Cool. They can let you know a little bit more confidential stuff and get an exclusive on M.T.V.B. or something.
Awesome. Exactly. Yeah, we'll get him on the show. Yeah, definitely. He listens.
Oh, God, you are a man of secret, aren't you?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Absolutely.
I've got nothing else left on that, guys. Does anyone else want to throw something? If not, we would just let you go straight to the top fives.
Let's do it.
Do it, yeah.
It's time for a top 5.
Anyone like to go first? Or
I don't mind.
He's eating, so
go on, Gal.
Gal, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go.
Right, so before we do that, Gal, obviously everyone knows from the season we're not doing clashes. If you clash, keep it to yourself. Right. We'll get round to you. You will have your turn. Number 5.
Number 5.
I shouldn't think any of you are going to clash with me anyway.
Go on, big Gal.
My number 5.
We'll make Goku be the last one.
Yeah, because he's eating, so let him
Wii controllers.
Hey,
just a normal Wii controller, with the nunchucks. Yeah.
I think you talked about it a bit earlier, and I think it's not revolutionary. I think it's one of the controllers and consoles where like everyone had, and it was so.
I'm surprised it didn't go further with it. If you know, what I
think it had. I think it evolved, and then
they went. You know what? I have to correct you. It was revolutionary. You think about it. It was the first.
Everyone was playing it. Like even yourself.
I've still got the Wii at home. I haven't plugged it in and used it in years. To be honest, but I've still got it.
And you know,
I wouldn't.
The fact that you can do the actual motion tennis and bowling.
Boxing matches. I was on myself. My daughter when she was like 4 or 5. And we would be boxing and playing tennis and baseball. Oh man!
Did anyone ever break shit in their living room?
No, I made damn sure that thing was round your wrist properly.
I've seen videos of people playing the bowling and they throw the Wii controller at the TV. And it
one thing I loved about this console is like you have gamers and you have non-gamers.
But everybody played it.
Yeah, and the moment when people who don't play games get involved, you see how much fun they're having.
Yeah. It brought the family together.
Your grandparents standing there playing bowling with you and stuff like that. I think, really?
It's so cool. I think that's one side of.
To Nintendo.
Do you remember when they when they promoted it like at E4, E3 or something like that, and they did the part with Zelda, and he had the archery thing, and they pulled the nunchuck back or something. No, just the way he did it, like fuck, that's like so revolutionary.
So that was the archery stuff for the game itself was quite awesome. But I just remember that console was, it's came with a Wii Sport. One of the everyone had Wii Sports.
But
that's all they wanted for. They don't want the other games.
But that's like I said. If Microsoft came out with the next console and said you could have it, and if you pay this extra bit, it will include that. The Wii came with that disc.
Yeah, it's a free game. They didn't charge extra for it.
It was with it.
But
fantastic.
Yeah, I think as it did like. I think it laid the groundwork for where the Switch is now.
Yeah,
like when it, now you have the actual detached, the actual controllers from the actual consoles, and you've got like I'm kind of cheating. I'm doing the Wii controllers and the Switch, but I'm just saying they're quite revolutionary. Like you can snap it in together, and it's a whole console there, and then you can snap it out and put it in. And then you can become 2 players.
Versatile, mate.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how these this Nintendo does things like this, and I think that's why I want to put both Switch as well, but I'll put
the Wii was the revolutionary version.
One was
that should be on there.
Definitely.
This is
good.
Good choice.
Good choice.
My number 5 is being used on a previous episode, and it's kind of going to go down the route of family games like Gal mentioned just now, and that is Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and DJ Hero.
Wow, yeah.
Yes. They are essential for the game. At the end of the day, you need to use those to play those.
Now, man?
You could probably get them in CX or something, but you can't
the
really.
New type of games.
They need to come back.
Dude.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's obviously it's an accessory which will make the game a whole lot better experience, and brings everyone to the table to play the game pretty much.
I mean, like 4 of us on a rock band.
But did you ever have it right and you would fight over it? No, I want to be on drums. No, I want to be lead singer. I want to be lead guitarist and whatnot. Just again, pop out every Christmas, every birthday, or just when your mates come over and they want to do DJ Hero and you get the decks out, start doing. It is.
I've got
one of the most fun you could ever have. I'm gutted I don't have it anymore. I'm gutted I got rid of it. I should have kept it just as like a momentum or, something to say like, these were the times. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, you were going to say something.
I was going to say we should do a guitar rock band and then put it as one of our intros.
If we can ever fucking find it or something.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
but no. It's pretty much what I was going to say. I mean, you cannot deny. Did you guys ever play it? Ever play these games?
Just the Guitar Hero one. Not the. I've never done the rock band.
It's the same thing, just a different.
So Legends of Rock, Guitar Hero, absolutely smashed.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah,
the best. And when the other peripherals came in, incredible. Like with the drums.
Yes, because it originally was just Guitar Hero. There was no band, no nothing, was there? Yeah.
And then the band came in, and it was like, holy shit! I remember being at uni at this point, thinking, "This is incredible," And like,
I get me some pussy with this.
Oh yeah!
We're giving the drums, baby.
John just walks out with the
play on his bongos.
John walks up with his mandolin.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, but that was fantastic. And you're so right, Anne. I mean, that was like so different. It kind of got a lot of people onto playing the guitar. It got my brother into playing real guitar, which was really fun.
Wow.
Yeah. At that point,
it's quite lazy back. It's just like 4 different colours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Match it.
That's all it is, right?
Cool.
4 different colours.
That's what it was at first, and then you could have one with the touchpad and you go. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And you go proper mental.
Yeah, I remember.
And then there was another one where you could do that.
With the wah pedal.
That's the wah pedal. That's it.
It's not the electric guitar one.
Yeah.
That's the.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but
they
were never on the original. Literally, was just like the colours, like you said, and the little. But yeah, obviously the games got better, didn't they? The playlists got better. The DLC came into it, which helped other games and stuff.
Yeah.
But just as accessories come, you can't play without it.
Absolutely.
It's no point playing it with a controller. It's like doing Just Dance with controller.
If
you haven't got Wii remotes or Switch remotes to play Just Dance, there's no point to it.
That must be sad, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
That's Liberties. That one kid who kind of...
A, B, C. But yeah, cannot deny it. Has to be on the list. Yes. Good times had by all with those games. And accessory-wise, definitely. John, number 5, sir.
This is going to be interesting.
It will, because it's from a PC point of view. So...
can't wait.
So no,
headphones.
What? What did you say?
Headphones.
Keyboard. I'm coming to that.
I'm joking.
Right. So what is it, John? Number 5.
No, simple. A decent gaming chair.
Oh yeah.
If you play a lot of games like I have done, I've got a Secret Labs Titan chair at home, really really good. There's better makes, probably cheaper ones as well, but
Secret Labs are good though. They do nice ones.
Yeah. And a really nice, comfortable chair.
Are you fucking shocked?
That's really good, John. I didn't think of that. Just me grilling you.
So John, does it improve gameplay, or is it just more for comfort?
It's more for comfort.
It's more comfort.
Yeah.
I guess.
If I was just going to play on a game, I've got half hour. I'll just jump on a game. Then
I'll sit on my Secret Lab.
Any chair will do you. Even a kitchen table. A chair from a kitchen table will do you. But if you're actually going to, you got time off to I've got a couple of hours. Want to play a game?
Does this one come with like speakers on the side and stuff?
No.
They used to, though, didn't they?
Yeah,
mine used to.
Actually,
some of them
probably
speakers.
You put the audio cable on the side, didn't you?
Yeah. But I'm coming to that later. So shut up. Gaming chair.
Nice.
Easy.
Number
5, sir.
Amazing. Right. So mine is it's a steering wheel. Can you believe it? It's a Logitech G29 steering wheel, which is
Logitech
the standard, for like mainly racing games and stuff. The reason why I love this much was I played this with a game called Drive Club that came out on the PlayStation 3, and it works so good with that. It even works better than the Gran Turismo games. It just like the feedback on it and just like the lag. There's no lag, and once you play, and it's one of those games when. Because my brother had it, he brought it down and we played it and he had the gaming chair and everything. But with a controller, you feel it vibrates. The moment you get, you go on like dirt and stuff, it starts to shake. It has the rumble, it was really immersive.
Oh, is it me or back in the day you have your console brands?
Yeah.
And then there was only Logitech.
That's all it was.
That's all it was. I swear there was no
Peripheral
other.
King was Logitech.
And then now you've got shitload of
so many different ones.
Got these Turtle Beach.
Turtle Beach. Back in the day, it was just original Sony's or Logitech. That's it.
And Razer.
Oh,
Razer.
Yeah.
No, that Razer's
Razer's awesome.
Quite good.
I like Razer.
I'm coming to that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Logitech was one.
Logitech was sick. Yeah, and they've kind of just built on their model and they've just made their peripherals so good.
Yeah.
So
a lot of the games companies worked with them just to make sure that their item would work with that game.
Exactly.
The fact is, it would work with any of the games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they would say, right, if for the perfect experience with Need for Speed, you need a Logitech wheel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that was how they done it all.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, because it's one of those examples where once you play with a steering wheel and you come back, it feels so ancient playing with a controller. It's just clunky. The lag is there, and it just when you're on a steering wheel, you're kind of like stuck. You can't go back. It's one of those things.
I was going to honourable mention steering wheel because I've only ever owned one. That's when I had a Sega Saturn to play Sega Rally.
Oh, nice.
Sega Saturn.
Easy left,
cool.
Easy right.
Yeah. Easy
Forward, easy jump.
Hard right. Yeah, jump.
Sammy wrecking the car. But then, obviously, I had got rid of that, got rid of these and going. And then when I moved into my mate Dave's house early in 2000s, my mate Greg bought one for Forza.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
For the 360, and that kind of like got me back into it. He had the pedals and gear stick and everything for it. It's like I'm not into those games, but just to play it with the steering wheel again. I had to honourable mention that because
absolutely,
steering wheels are essential for your driver. Racing games.
When you think of peripherals, is one of the top peripherals that'll come to your head.
Well, I mean, even if you're into games, I mean, just try it once.
Yeah,
even with one game. I mean,
there's lots of driving games.
I'd like to have one now for this is a game on the Xbox One that came out. I mean, my mate Tim played to fucking death. It's called Split Second.
Yes,
I'd love to play that with the steering wheel. I really would.
Fun.
So that'd be something I'd like to look up and give that another go.
A simple one of steering wheels was for the Wii. Yeah. You just plug the.
Moving on,
was
brilliant.
It was really well.
Brilliant. It worked so well.
I wondered about that. Yeah.
Completely wild.
About moving on.
I love my Nintendo, innit? We get it, man. We fucking get it.
Again, was
that the one you did for Mario Kart?
Yeah.
And they just did it emotionally.
Yeah.
They still do that now with the Switch, don't they?
I can't. I
think they do. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Because I had all the.
I just remember plugging in that nunchuck in it, and you just
that's right. Yeah.
There's additional wires or anything. It literally like just do it in the air. It's badass.
Yeah. It was great for Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Awesome. That must have been fun. Yeah.
But anything else on the steering wheel?
That's it. Steering wheel.
Nice. We'll go to number 4, guys.
Number 4.
Biggest deals.
Biggest dickers.
Gayest fuckers.
Gayest foxes.
My number 4, I've mentioned in a previous episode, but I want to mention it again.
Yeah, do it.
Is I think you said it nicely. Taking selfies before selfies were made. Game Boy camera.
Yeah.
What a good shout, bro.
Yeah. I think it came out at the same time as Game Boy Color.
Yes, it did. Yeah,
then,
just before.
Before. Wow. And it was essentially it comes with this camera and it comes with a printer. And then you can.
But you plug it into the top where your cartridge goes, yeah?
And then you can turn the camera left or right, go around taking pictures, and then put little flashy little edits on it and stuff. I mean, it wasn't the greatest.
But what I remember, it wasn't actual ink, was it? It was like it burned into paper of some sort or something like that.
The ink never ran out.
Laser printed or something like that.
I don't know what it was. It burns into it.
It's a certain type of paper it needed, wasn't it? Yeah,
something weird like that. But
that's incredible. I've always wondered that.
Because apparently you can still use them now.
Yeah.
If you've got paper, you can still use them now, yeah.
Wow.
Man, it was so awesome, man. I wish... If I somewhere still have those pictures now, that would it would be super creepy. Like trying to like. Work
Didn't they have games on it as well? But you had your face on the games or something.
Yeah, and you can.
There was like a juggling game and something like that.
I think you're right. They had like little mini games on it.
Yeah,
mini games on it. Yeah.
So it wasn't just the camera. It was
an additional. It's just coming back to me now. Yeah. But yeah, what an awesome little gadget, man. Like,
I remember when you had that actually going. I came over and like you can kind of design it so you got your picture and you can put like a moustache on it.
Yeah, moustache. And I add like all these weird little things to it. But
such a genius thing. For like 1998 or 99, isn't it? At that time,
I think it was 1999.
99,
yeah.
Yes, it was. You're right. Yeah, I remember that.
99.
Yeah, and it was a see-through purple color as well. I think I don't know. That's the one I had, but I'm sure
the camera.
The camera. Yeah.
So the original was just like a red and grey looking one, and then obviously when the Game Boy Color came out, they changed it to fit with the Game Boy Colors. Because the original Game Boy Color was like a see-through one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The see-through color. Yeah.
But just nothing. It was just brilliant. It was like having your own little camera on, add on to your game console.
It was the camera on your phone before the camera on your phone.
Yeah, like you never had a phone back then. Didn't even take pictures. I can't.
That's right, it didn't.
My game console could do it. So
that's it.
But awesome.
Bloody hell! Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Please tell me you actually did go out and take like your Game Boy camera and whatnot.
What's that?
Yeah, because you took your Game Boy camera.
I took it to I remember taking it to a field trip. I remember just messing around with it on the train and stuff. But like I said, I just wish if I had kept on to the pictures now, or I must have sold it on the camera on. But
would you go back and buy it again? Bit of nostalgia.
You know what? I remember the print wasn't clear.
Yeah,
it wasn't. But I would have probably get just have it just for the sake
something for the kids.
Something had to start somewhere.
This is what I was high tech back in the day. Selfies before selfies.
This is it, mate. Yeah. I reckon she'd like her, man.
You reckon?
Yeah. Just make sure she doesn't fuck up your game.
What's that? My phone's better. Your phone's better.
Your phone's got colour.
Snapchat's better than this.
Unfortunately, that's the way of the world now, isn't it?
Kids, isn't it?
Well, at least they'll respect it.
Yeah.
You should get it just for business.
Yeah.
Anything else on that side?
No, that's it, dude. It's just nice, cheap.
Good shout.
Yeah,
such a good shout.
My number 4 has already been spoken about, and we mentioned it earlier. Is the Xbox Connect?
Oh wow,
nice.
Picked that because not just for the experience of Alien Isolation, but as games wise, it's very much. It was Xbox's version of Wii Sports, if you will.
Yeah.
They brought out this camera that follows you around. It was essentially the feature of the console at one point. You can put your hand out, you can wave past certain pages on your Xbox, you can do this and that. You could talk to it like Xbox on it.
Yeah, voice command.
Yeah. Very, very revolutionary at the time for something that's over 10.
1 in 10 years, right?
It's 12 years old. 2010 it came out. But the games it came with, like the Connect Adventures, was like obviously activities, sports, games where you have to jump and ride certain things. Again, just brought the family together and got everyone involved in stuff. I believe there was another game called Connect Dance that was essentially just dance, but it was Connect Dance. It had this own little thing then. This is, again, before Just Dance had come out.
They had their own sort of games built for them.
And then we had Connect Sports obviously came out. There were a couple of horror games and stuff like that. And like I said, they factored in some of other Xbox games to play with it. I just thought it was a great little device for the end. The thing is that people didn't like it at the time because there's a camera constantly on me and you kicked it in the internet. Yeah. What do you think your phone does? Yeah. I mean, your phone actually listens to you. Probably listens to you having sex as well. but let's face it, it's like it has a camera. It's connected to the internet all the time. It knows where you go because it like checks you into places and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is the fucking difference with connecting today? Just, I mean, as long as you're not doing shit in front of it, just for fuck's sake, just But as a device itself, I think it should have got
very clever.
It should have,
Or just fucking turn it off or unplug it when you're done.
It was ahead of its time, and I just thought people just should have not looked into it too much and just had fun with it because it would have got. I reckon it would have gone a lot further. In honesty, it wasn't essential. Like Big Gal just said, it wasn't like an Xbox One thing because it came out for the 360 originally, didn't it? You didn't have to have it to work your Xbox.
An additional.
You could just unplug it and play your Xbox as normally. In the end of the day,
absolutely. I tell you what, I remember when the E3 of that happened, and I was just so taken in by the whole presentation. And they even showed like a little showcase of Kinect and how these kids used it in the house. And it's one thing.
You remember that?
It was so sick. And it's one thing when I thought to myself, this has so much potential, because there was one where the little girl was like, "Oh, let me try on this prom dress," or something stupid like that. And I thought, shit, this is how the future. If they took this seriously, and companies like H&M and New Look or whoever like invest in this maybe a little bit, you know, imagine during COVID. Not being able to go to the shops, the idea of being able to try and put it on your avatar and see what it looks like, and then going out and buying it, like I was like, oh my god, this is going to take off. This is going to go PlayStation. It's going to blow it out of the water. But that's the only thing you said, Adam, because you're right. Like people just looked into it too much, and they just played it casually. They would have made the most.
It's like, I have to get this camera now to do this. It's like, no, you didn't. You didn't have to. If you wanted to play the games, obviously you did.
Yeah,
but the problem. We live in an age now where people feel they're not contributing anything to society unless they're complaining about something. You think, seriously, come on.
I mean, there's another...
It's a game, play the game. If you don't want to play the game, fine. It's like the old days. I remember, remember when we only had a couple of TV channels and people were bitching and moaning about such and such a program on a channel, and it was, and people said it then, just turn the channel over then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly the same thing today. It doesn't matter what Joe Bloggs is doing. You don't have to copy them. So why do you feel that you have to go out and complain because, he's doing something that you're not? He's entitled to do it if he wants to do it. It doesn't matter. And we live in this blame society now where everything's wrong and everybody's wrong for doing it.
Xbox is watching us.
Doesn't matter.
But one more thing I wanted to bring up about Kinect was one other game which kicks fucking ass. I think I'm gutted that it is not on any other platform, but then again, we don't have cameras on our consoles anymore now. And that is a game called U-Star. Does anyone know of it at all? For the Kinect exclusively, it was a game called U-Star. Being a movie fan I am, you basically relived your film. So you would pick a film, Blade Runner, Big Lebowski, something like that. And they would take the main character out. So Harrison Ford would come out or Jeff Bridges would come out.
Really?
And what happened is the camera would come up, a certain scene would come up, and you'd have to pose yourself like the actor would.
That is wicked. I remember that.
They take the actor out and they put you in it. So you relive or you redo your favourite movie scenes. It was awesome. Genius. Tim, if you're listening, you know what I'm fucking talking about. We spent hours on this fucking game. And after you've done it, you could get your little hand, you can tap it, and you can load it to YouTube straight away. We did things from Big Lebowski to The Mummy to Blade Runner. What was the other one we used to do? It was Terminator, and they would update this game every week. So every week, I think it was every Tuesday. Xbox always did new DLC every Tuesday. So every Tuesday would be another movie added to, and it would just keep going and going on for months. Genius. It was one of the best experiences you could ever have with this piece of kit. That was less than £100. Wow. It got people to come around your house and play games, or you had better immersion with regular games, i.e. Alien Isolation. It is such a shame this doesn't carry. This isn't still around anymore. I'll never forget those days, and I really wish I could relive those. There are times I would like to go back and get a 360 and redo it again. Worried it won't work or not, but I can't deny 12 years ago, the Kinect was the biz. It had to go on the list.
Had to.
So that's my number 4.
Amazing.
John.
For me, from a PC obviously point of view, a decent monitor.
Yeah.
You know,
he's just going to do that. I know what you're going to do. But it is top 5 accessories that make your experience better. So,
guy, man, how does he get away with this shit?
Fuck off! It's true, isn't it?
Hey! He's on the show. He's doing the list. I've got to take it.
I've gone through a lot of different monitors, and depending on the game, obviously, we used to take the piss. So, who wants to play it in 4K?
Next one's going to be a mouse. I'm joking.
Funny enough, I do have it on a list.
Nice.
But I've got.
It's number 1 with the big titties.
Yay! I have a 35-inch ultra wide, curved ultra wide monitor. And to be fair, games like Red Dead 2 and a few,
I bet that looks gorgeous on that.
They are just fucking awesome on it. Driving games, flight sims, all these games, they're all being done in this 21 8x9 format now. They're being built for these ultra wide monitors.
I saw your setup. That screen's amazing.
Sitting in front of a TV or sitting in front of a small little monitor, that's fine. But if you, like we said, if you want to get into the immersion of these games, you are going to take that extra step. Yeah. You're going to pay that extra bit of money.
Do you have one screen or two screens set up?
I have only one now. I got the big ultra wide one now.
Nice.
And it does. It's connected with DisplayPort. I got HDMI sockets on it, stuff like that. If I wanted to, I could stick a Fire Stick in the back on the HDMI socket, watch a bit of Amazon on it. It's quite a versatile screen.
Nice.
But it
does the job, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I wanted it for. If I'm sitting in front of it for several hours, then
makes you appreciate your games more. More clear and stuff as well.
There's something about a curved monitor. There. And it's ultra wide. Yeah.
It does add to it. Sounds silly, I know, but from a PC point of view, if I'm going to be sitting in front of a screen for a couple of hours or maybe even more, I think 13, 14 hours straight is my record for sitting in front of playing a game.
He still hasn't finished the game.
I used to finish games, yeah. So a decent screen to be looking at. So
nice.
That's good. Very good.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. My number 4 is going to be. So you're going to be surprised. It's going to be a PSVR. The PSVR.
Oh right.
The original version.
Yeah.
Because I got that, and I again like the whole immersion thing.
Gen
and
1
like
one,
that.
right?
That's the Gen 1 one. Yeah, and it worked really well because it was like the first console VR. And I remember playing it, and especially these are games that you can play in solitude by yourself. Like in a sense that, because it's very hard to play multiplayer games on VR, right? Unless there's some really awesome party games like No One Talk, Everyone Explode. Something like that. The No One Talk, Things Are Going to Explode. It's a game where basically with a VR headset, you're trying to dismantle a bomb. So all you see is the suitcase with the wires and everything, but then everyone in the room
has to tell you what to do.
Tell you what to do, and they're reading it on the screen. They're like, cut the red wire or something like that. So something like that is genius.
Wow.
But it's mainly for the experiences. And for example, you can even play Gran Turismo at some point, first person in a car and stuff. That made me motion sick though. I don't know. I needed to kind of stop playing that.
I watched Big Gal play Wipeout with the VR.
Oh,
that looks insane.
Goodness. Insane. Right? Honestly, just it blows your mind as well. You can imagine if you're really tipsy or people who take recreational drugs, how that must be for them, to play Wipeout, Ecstasy 99, right?
Yeah,
basically, that's what it is. Yeah. But then more than that, it's just seeing something in 4K, on the screen. It's it's amazing. It's really good. Even playing games there's a game called Tumble VR where it's a puzzle game where you use the Move controllers and you've got to basically try and direct the light towards little channels and stuff, but when you play it, it's so fun. You can see it in front of you, and it's just you're just so immersed in it.
What's the longest you've played on a VR?
Good question. I think the longest I can play without being sick. So, for example, if it's a stationary game, because this is what a lot of people were talking about, they kind of built this into VR too as well, so people don't really suffer from motion sickness. They've kind of improved on that. But the longest I've played, would be that if it's a standing game, probably about 45 minutes. But then even when you take it off, you feel a bit little bit motion sick. But a
they
game
say that, don't they?
Yeah, but a game like Gran Turismo, because you're in a car, so when you brake, the idea is you should feel that inertia, but you don't. So after a while, your brain gets really confused, and I think for me, 3 minutes tops on racing games, so I can't really do that. But,
so how long would you say for something like Resident Evil 7?
See, because that's interesting. Because again, you're moving backwards, forwards, and stuff like that. I don't think I would have been able to hack that.
They reckon 45 minutes is the most anyone can really do VR anyway, because after that I
can see people just doing it quite longer than that, though, is the thing.
Yeah. I think people who've got stronger stomachs or peripheral vision's better, they can
I guess the longer you play it, the better you get, I guess.
Exactly.
That could be a
body gets...
This is it. But it's really cool because when the PSVR came, so this was before Oculus was blowing up and stuff, because now it's very cheap for everyone to get. So when you use your Move controller, even the PlayStation controller, you see it floating in front of you, and you can turn your PS Move controllers is a racket. You can play table tennis with it, or it's a gun or whatever, and you're seeing that, and it looks incredible in VR. So that's the first baby steps, and now PSVR 2, and with the whole metaverse thing coming, it's going to be a normal thing now. That's going to be the bog standard. So it's interesting. But that was probably it's an interesting, because it's not every day you play VR, and especially when you buy a PlayStation game. And one of the appeals of buying it at the time was, it has VR included, so it'd be either a little demo or it'll be the whole game played in VR and stuff. So that was quite good.
Nice.
It's really good. Yeah. So yeah, that's
good
my
choice. Let's go to number 3 then, guys.
Number 3.
Back to you, biggest years.
Can I get 2 in this one?
If they're related, yes. Because I got Guitar Hero and Rock Band in one.
Oh, they're not related.
Oh, man.
Do we let him have it?
Shall we?
Go on.
Go on, mate.
All right, I'll tell you what. If you don't laugh at John's PC accessories, you can have both.
No, you know what? I'll save it for. I'll pick one and I'll save the other one for later.
Okay. Honourable mention then.
Honourable mention.
Oh, okay.
This one is. What do I do with the pick?
He really wants to laugh at me later. That's
Memory
why.
card.
Memory card. Okay, yeah.
I want to ask a question. What was our gaming days like before memory cards?
So we did kind of have some save files. Like if you ever played like Mario on Super Nintendo,
it was like
you had the choice of which file to go on, which would save your game. So there was a degree of saving games, but not to the extent of game.
Do you remember the password save ones? Like
yeah,
Rayman,
absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so we're going to save that for the password episode.
Okay, so I think memory card is
it's essential. Yeah,
it's essential. It's kind of changed like how we game.
Man.
Didn't we?
Getting through Final Fantasy VII without one is a bitch.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my god!
In a PC,
because I picked memory card, and I was like, how did we play games before memory card? I was like a bit frozen. But the only thing that kept coming to me is I remember playing Rayman, and every time you complete a mission, it was that password. Is that how we played? But I forgot about Mario's save system, and obviously Zelda's had that save slot as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but I think
not every game, but some did.
Yeah, some did.
But do you ever remember? Like, I imagine you were talking about a PlayStation memory card, for example. Yeah. So do you remember when you went to look in the memory card,
and it had the little art design 3D little?
It was motional, wasn't it? So they were moving stuff. Do you remember that?
So cool. That was so cool. The amount of times. How many memory cards did you go through?
I always had the official one, so I know what you say. I only had the one.
We had this like dodgy, maybe Logitech one.
Back to Logitech.
I think so. But then we got quite serious. We got the original, the PS2 sort of ones and
PlayStation.
But I wish if I had all my memory cards and just be able to plug it in and see that all the games are. Because I can't remember the top of my head. I can't remember the top of my head the games like I've played. I remember the main games that left them up. But I want to remember the shitty games I bought and I'm like, oh, that's rubbish, or just have a look at all the things. If maybe I should have kept them all these years.
Like the memory card's interesting.
I've got one. I found one somewhere. But I think it's a PlayStation 2 one. I want to maybe plug it in if it still works and see what's on
the PlayStation 2 games. You remember you used to have a little slot for your memory card inside the game. Did you ever use that? Like, did you ever go around a mate's house and put your game in there and you put your memory card at the top? No. I never ever used it, ever.
On top of the controller slot, right?
No, do you remember? No, in the case, in the actual game case, you would have the game where the disc goes, and above that is a little square where your memory card goes in.
Yes.
Did you ever fucking use it?
I never used that.
Right?
He just went in my pocket.
It's like I never got. It's a nice little touch, but who the fucking used it? Never.
It's the plastic.
But I tell you what, though, when we went to Blockbusters, the amount of memory cards that were returned in those cases,
really,
it's like they were obviously the customers. But the people that returned it, for some reason, put their memory card in there as well. So they obviously must have gone to a mate's house, done it, put it in there.
Same file,
left it in there.
Exactly. Because all we used to do was just take the game cover out and put our covers in. So we used the PS2 game case as well for our rentals. So it was quite funny how we had a stack of memory cards.
I know one of the useless thing like the memory card was like if you're stuck somewhere, you can give your memory card to your mate. Oh, I'm stuck on there, mate. Or there's a school pro somewhere, and they'd be like, I'll get through this game, and then they'd you pay.
It was a business. You pay him, and he'd be like,
I'll do it for you.
But did you know you could transfer between two memory cards?
You can do that too.
I think I remember.
Do you remember that? So you could put your one in memory card slot one, and you put theirs in two, and you just copy it over.
Yeah,
and the pain where you had to delete the memory file, like the other files,
and it was slowly deteriorating,
and you're like, oh no! So you could put in a new save file for a new game, and you're like, oh, the pain.
Oh my god, genius!
Yeah,
that was good.
Memory card.
Nice choice, sir.
Wow, yeah,
nice choice.
Thank you.
It definitely was essential, so it's got to be done.
Yeah.
My number 3. Now, my number 3 was not on my list until this man next to me reminded me of this essential. It's not essential, but it is revolutionary for its time. Yeah. And that is the amazing add-on of the Rumble Pack.
Oh, yes.
The N64 Rumble Pack.
Yeah. Now, here's what I wanted to ask you that day. I forgot. What was first?
The Rumble Pack.
And then there was the DualShock, wasn't it? I must have asked you that. Okay.
Yeah. So the Rumble Pack was the essential item that basically made for the first time, make your controller vibrate with certain actions of the game, like a gunshot or if you got hit by something or whatnot. Yeah. And it was mind-blowing. I bet it was. There is not one controller after that Rumble Pack that came out that does not have the Rumble feature on it. Yeah. I can barely ever remember a time now where a controller didn't have a Rumble Pack, apart from what I've got behind me here, shown in my display here, are all controllers that didn't have that feature. Yeah. Like I said, it was the N64 controller, if anyone remembers it, had a slot at the back of it where you could either put a memory card, or if you needed an extra memory, or the Rumble Pack. And the Rumble Pack, it used to be a big bulky thing, didn't it? Yeah, I remember, and it slid in just in there. And it came with Lilac Wars. Do you remember that?
No,
which was Star Fox, essentially. All that was Star Fox. If you bought the game on N64, it come in this massive box because it will come with the Rumble Pack. You could buy it separately if you wanted to, but if you wanted to buy it with the game, you can get it with Lilac Wars. And after Lilac Wars came out, the next big thing you needed it for was GoldenEye. That was the shit back then. It was like, I remember when they done the advert for that game, and they were like, "You can now even add the power of the Rumble Pack." And I'm like, I was like, "Good fucking god, you can!" Oh, mate, my balls blew so much. There was jizz everywhere.
His balls were Rumble Packs in itself.
What was that? There were Rumble Packs. What was I? 14 at the time, 14-year-old jizz everywhere. Oh my god.
It's raining everywhere.
It's so good. It's so revolutionary. And then obviously after that clocked on, the PlayStation done it when they released the DualShock.
Yeah. Right.
The DualShock obviously came with the two analog sticks as well, which came straight off of the N64. N64 had analog sticks before the PlayStation. Yes. And obviously the DualShock has been revolutionary for 4 generations now.
100%.
So, and then look how everything else has gone on, from the Xbox controllers to Wii remotes, everything. Even Switch remotes have fucking Rumble Packs in them. The Steam Deck has a Rumble Pack system in there. If it wasn't for the Rumble Pack, what would we be doing now?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm sure someone else would have invented it, but Nintendo, you done a bang up job with that tiny little pack. That
I'm sure,
just slid it into your controller.
How do you reckon they come up with it? Do you reckon they put a vibrator on a controller? Oh, hang about.
Do you know what? My hat's off to them, and in fact for doing it way back then as well, because I wouldn't have come up with that, but it was so revolutionary. I know there was other stuff that came out. I believe there was like it looked like a backpack you put on your back, and it basically it was a speaker, if you will, but it sort of rumbled as well. So if you got hit in a game, you'd feel the vibrations on your back and stuff.
I remember seeing that.
It never kicked off because it just looked shit, basically. No one was going to wear that playing games, especially if you're sitting on chairs like this at the end of the day. Yeah. But then when Nintendo came up with this tiny little vibrator that extends that and does everything to the thing. It was a great design because it wasn't just one type of vibration. It was other vibrations that would go with what's happening on there. Like in Mario Kart, you start your engine up and whatnot sort of thing. It was just, it read it so well. Revolutionary, had to go on the list, and thank you for reminding me about that, because I would have kicked myself if I didn't put the Rumble Pack in my top 5.
Amazing.
Glad you put
John,
it in there,
number 3, sir.
So good.
Headset. I've got the Microsoft headset.
Yep.
Fantastic piece of
I'm seeing a pattern here, John. I'm joking, mate. I'm joking.
Yeah, the Xbox headset.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I have gone through my fair share of headsets, and that is one of the best I have had. I'm not saying that because it's Xbox, but the fact that it's comfortable, the volume control is brilliant, the microphone is fucking insane.
Yeah. This is the new one, right?
The newest one. The green on. The one that you guys reviewed on your channel,
with the retractable microphone.
So I've got a HyperX setup, which was very, very good, to be fair. I think I'm on my third HyperX headset. Very, very good make, very good headset. But when I got the Series X, obviously you guys were getting the Microsoft
HyperX is
one.
Quite lasted long. I think
they're very
had
good.
it for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, they are very good. But when I got the Series X and you guys were going on about the headset, I thought, well, I'll get the headset to go with the Series X. not realising, of course, that it's so versatile because all it is the little USB stick. I use it on my the headset on my PC and everything because it's all compatible. But it's fantastic.
And connected to the PC.
Oh, yeah. So whether I'm on the Xbox or the PC side,
John doesn't like that one little bit.
So he connects his PC.
He takes out his phone and connects it to the PC.
Oh God!
Yeah, because the truth
is, the things I have to put up with these guys
don't like it, and his cats don't like it one bit.
So then he gets his phone out and orders KFC. Good set, yeah. Let's face it, headsets are a major thing nowadays. We use headsets for our podcast at the end of the day, but headset is a good experience, especially with multiplayer gaming. I practically only use it for games that are essential for it, like Dead Space type games or whatnot. What's the point of not having it with? If you don't have it's a good. I suppose it's a nice substitute if you don't have surround sound as well.
Exactly.
That's a definite. Like, do you remember? Did you ever play Hellblade Senua? Senua's.
I know of it. But I haven't played it.
No.
Something like that.
Yeah. So at the very start of that game, it pretty much states at the very start, this game is better played with a headset. So I believe that would be the future for gaming. Is like majority of it would be like wear a headset, wear a headset.
Yeah, it sounds so much better than surround sound, doesn't it? Because it's right there.
A lot of games now, the level of immersion in the game isn't just the gameplay itself; it's the sound in the game, and whether you've got a decent speaker setup or not, you find that you have to turn it up that little bit extra so you can hear everything. But with a headset,
it down if it's really loud, you know.
Well, this is it. So if if you've got other people in the house, you can't have your speakers up loud. But it's like Ant said, but when you put a headset on, you can have it as loud as you want, and you will hear every single little thing then. So yeah.
It's essential, it's 100% itself. I think it's one of the
it will be.
And I thought for the price of it,
not just essential, but a get better gaming experience, isn't it?
And I paid less for that than I did for my HyperX that I've got now. What was it? Was it £90 or something? £95?
£89, yeah.
Fantastic little, very, very good.
Good choice.
Love it a bit.
I like the way it looks as well. Smart,
very, 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 very smart.
Sexy beast.
No, it's one of the sexiest looking headphones, to be honest.
Yeah. And like
if I can get a room of it, mate.
Another Xbox.
And it is so comfortable. Yeah, it is very comfortable. Yeah.
Go cool. Number 3, sir.
Right, my number 3 is ultimately was almost like this was Sony going to a boardroom after seeing the Wii controllers and saying we need to do something. So it's the Move controller.
Nice.
Because what they did, I mean, essentially, I hate to say it, but it was like the advanced version of the Wii controller because the lights, as disco as they looked, was very immersive in a sense. It was X, Y, and Z. So you can tell how far you were going into the screen and stuff like that, Whereas I think on the Wii controller, it was that, but it wasn't really, it just basically built on the Wii model.
But what was
was the fact that, you can play PlayStation games with it, like the games that you would on PlayStation. So again, like with the Wii Sport, they had their own mock-up of, PS Sport or whatever that came out. And I remember like me and my friend, like my mate John, who used to live 2 doors down, we would have the most competitive table tennis games, like matches on that.
Yeah.
Because ultimately we have a Move controller each, and it was so immersive. Like it was so good, and like there was little things that you can do. So the Move controller, essentially, like it was that. It had the triggers on either side. The only annoying thing about it was charging it because it took a long time to charge and kind of charge.
Did the battery drain quite quickly on it?
I think as time went on, it did. And it was really smart, like the little things that you can do with it. But what I love about, do you know what? I should have moved this up the list, come to think of it. It was so good. It was so versatile because I used this 7 years down the line. So long story short, this was a year before COVID in 2019. This thing came out on PlayStation 4 called Dreams, where it's like...
Yes, we create your own stuff.
Exactly, like Me the Molecule had made it and stuff. So you could use it with that, and you can paint, and you can actually create games using that.
Do you know someone created the whole Fallout 4 with Dreams?
Absolutely. And
it's just, that's insane. How much time and effort you need for that?
So
how do you get the Dreams game then? What do you...
So you download it from the store. But the great thing about it is that you can use the Move controllers to essentially just create stuff with it. It's paintbrushes, like 3D virtual paintbrushes. And if you go online and if you see what people have done with it, it's incredible. Like it's really, really good. But then before that, there was the most awesome use. Oh, do you know, I wish it was my number 2 now. I hate to say. Okay. So you get this gun attachment with it, right?
That's right. I remember that.
The rifle gun
That's
attachment.
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh my god! And I played the whole of Resistance 3 and Killzone.
Nice.
Using that. That was incredible.
That's the game it came out with, didn't it?
Oh my god, yeah, because you're pointing it on the screen, you're moving around and stuff, and I remember playing Killzone 3, I think. The whole game, I did that with the Move controller, and it was absolutely immersive. It was just the best thing ever. It was like going to an arcade and playing with the guns, you know? It was just incredible. It was like, one of the best times I've ever had on the PlayStation itself. Why is this not my number one? But it was absolutely incredible.
Well, when you review, obviously, we might swap them over.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's see what stories you come up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But talking about PlayStation accessories,
yes.
Obviously, the Kinect was Xbox. Do you remember the iToy?
Yes, yeah.
For the
we were
PlayStation.
talking about it. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, my goodness.
I remember what games they were on that.
They were like cheap little kiddie games because
Yeah.
there's one where you clean windows and stuff.
Wishy-washy.
That's it. And there was one where you put your face on something.
That's right, yeah.
Because I was thinking about putting
one where you splatter bugs on the wall or something as well.
There's a Kung Fu one where they're all coming from either side and you've got to hit them like this.
It's coming back to me. It was only like 5 or 6 games, wasn't it?
But it was so good, wasn't it? You had like a little party mode on that, so you can play and it will randomly select your games and stuff like that. That was incredible. So that's
I take it's on your list, by the way. I brought it up, it's on your list.
Yeah, I wish I put that on my list, actually. Really good. But yeah, PlayStation Move, like, it's so versatile.
Do you know what? I'll be honest, I never ever got to use it, but it looked a lot of fun. I felt I probably because it felt like it's a cheap knockoff of the Wii, so that's why I never went for it. But
a lot of people did.
But I'm glad I know someone that actually had a great time with it. So
incredible. Some of it. I remember like thinking to myself, like watching a trailer when the game, the rifle thing came out.
I think that's the only thing that attracted. I never got it.
Didn't we have something close to that as well? They had like a gun-shaped thing. You put the remote on it.
We had a little white sort of thing where you...
Oh, yeah, because you used that for your films, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
So badass.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing. So good. Yeah.
Nice. Anything else on that, sir?
No, PlayStation Move. That's,
Your number 3 might be number 1.
I wish it
was
now. Damn it.
Let's go to number 2.
Yeah. Number 2.
Biggest deals.
Okay, this goes back a while in my gaming days. Yeah, maybe Game Boy era
again.
Ooh, wow.
And it's a little device that helped me do my gaming during night time.
Oh,
the game light for the Game Boy.
Oh my goodness, I remember that.
I remember you talking stories about this on the podcast before.
I was going to put the magnifier.
They used to hide from your mum. Go on, tell me. Retail.
We used to share a room with my brothers. And then we all have a Game Boy. So we'd be playing Pokemon, obviously.
Whatever,
And it was only Pokemon back then. Like I didn't delve into any of the other. I did, but later on.
Yeah.
But back then we needed a light. Like obviously we cannot. Back then we was like strict. My mum was strict. We couldn't play on the weekdays.
Right.
So bang on ups after school. On Fridays on the console, so it could either be Game Boys or PlayStation or whatever. And on the weekdays and on Sundays, it's like the saddest day because you have to go sleep and then
school next day.
So eventually, we found this thing called the Game Boy. It's just like we could get more games night thinking Mum's thinking we're asleep. So we're under the covers.
Yeah, but that's exactly.
I'll just call a cat pee. Hurry up there, let's go.
Did your mum ever catch you?
Nah.
Nice.
Oh my god.
But I think we got close, but because we kind of like set us up.
Did you all have one?
So it was like. So we will set us up as if we're lying down, sleeping already. So the pillow will be under our chin. And then the can will be over here. So even if she didn't come, all we had to do was drop it and go like,
yes!
So super set up, mate. It was like brilliant.
Yeah.
So
and
good.
this light gave us
But
extra
did you have a light
time.
each, or did you?
Yeah, we had a light each.
Oh, okay.
I think my youngest was too young to be playing at that time. It was just me and a little G at the time. And my God, man, it was some good times. Yeah. Like sometimes we'd be playing like midnight. Like, oh man, we reckon we can get sleep. Oh, like, we might get in trouble. Like, fuck it, let's just go. Let's just carry on playing. We grew balls.
Yeah,
Game Boy made us grow balls.
But I love how it's just simply a light that got you to game even more. Best accessory ever. There's all of us talking about fucking technology cameras and stuff, and there's you guys. Mine's a light.
No, it's purely because it just extended our gaming time. You go to bed at 7 and like you got to wake up school. Like, fuck it, let's play till 10. Fuck it, let's push it. Obviously, provided that we were smart enough to charge our batteries or enough batteries that had. But sometimes I think you were able to plug in and carry on playing like that. But oh man, such a good time. And we used to have a magnifying glass as well.
I used to have that. For awesome, the original Game Boy.
Yeah. Awesome. The magnifying glass.
I was contemplating putting that, but I think the light had
the light's better story, mate.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's simple, just light, just so you can play in the night. You know, fucking brilliant.
Yeah, but I
love how that's such a sentimental thing for you, though.
I wish I still had.
I love the design of like you could just drop.
Came out was so like good. Literally. So the pillow, so we'd be lying on our tummies. And the pillow will be like on top of our forearms, so the controller will be right there, so we can arch our back, and then obviously the bed sheet over. As soon as you hear her up the stairs or something, or she's just going toilet, pop. Just, just under, that's it. Even if she catches the controllers, or I left it to charge, mum, or something. We had every story backed up.
And she never caught you.
No,
pros, mate.
Yeah, pros. Nah, do you know what, bro? Do you know? I bet if I talked to your mum, she'd be like, "Of course I fucking know."
Honestly, mate. Honestly,
I could hear them from downstairs.
Would you got a drilling if she caught you though?
Probably, I don't know. I don't know what she's probably just hide the.
I'm surprised she never confiscated them off you or something. She not clock it or anything.
Who was stricter, your mum or your dad? Your mum, I suppose.
My mum was.
Yeah.
She's downstairs playing Streets of Rage.
I mean, if she got mad, she'll beat the crap out of me. But nothing.
Oh dear.
But look at me. I turned out great.
Yeah, of course you did.
Now doing a podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That no one listens to.
But
wow, that's good, man. I like that. It's a good story.
That's wicked.
Good times.
That's wicked.
I don't know how to follow that. My number two is probably very close to being my number one, but something else has obviously taken the top spot over it, and that is the light gun. And it's basically a light gun is any type of gun that's used for a home gun game.
Yeah.
From the days I started it, my first ever one was the Zapper from Nintendo when I got to shoot ducks at Duck Hunt. Was rather fucking lutionary.
Duck what?
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunts. You had Super Mario and you had Duck Hunt, and then you and it was the best ever. The fact that you could just point this thing at a TV and it would shoot ducks, literally, and fall down. The little dog picks them up, whatnot. So it was mind blowing, mate. And then obviously my dad got the job where he worked in arcades, fixed arcade machines, whatnot. And then I found other games that were, best suited for like the revolutionary stuff, like your Virtual Cops, Silent Scopes, all that sort of stuff. And then the granddaddy of them all that came to the arcade was Time Crisis.
I was just going to say Time Crisis.
The first one where you could actually duck under behind something and actually shoot people, whatnot. But then when that puppy came to the PlayStation 1 and you could play it at home, it was fucking incredible. I absolutely loved it. I mean, that gun itself, I used to have it for that one. Used to have it for Point Blank. Point Blank was another Namco one. And it was, again, just simply plug it into the back of your PlayStation. Little laser would just test a little thing for you, and then after that you're on your way. Simple as easy. And then after that I had another light gun for my Dreamcast to play House of Dead 2, which is probably the best arcade port of any shooting game that's ever come to home consoles.
I remember that game.
House of Dead 2 on the Dreamcast is 100% perfect. If I didn't know there was a Dreamcast in there, House of Dead 2 is the best one. And then with the light gun was awesome because it was essentially this tiny little pistol, but it had a thing at the back of it to put your memory card into it. So you could slot your Dreamcast memory card, save your progress, whatever. That was awesome. And then obviously it kind of went downhill from there. We had the PS3 where it had Time Crisis 2.
After the Dreamcast stage, I swear it died out, the gun sort of
So you had your Time Crisis still, but they were on the PlayStation. But then what they did was they had this thing where you had to put sensors on the corners of your screen, and it was a fucking nuisance. how it couldn't be just like the old PlayStation days or whatever, where you just shoot a little target to, have it read the gun, whatnot sort of thing. No, you had to stick these things in the corner and all the wires would come around. It just looked horrible. And unfortunately, it died down from there. I think the last one was maybe a gun for the original Xbox to play House of Dead 3, which was an Xbox exclusive at the time. And from then on, I don't think I've ever seen a gun come out for 360 or PS3, maybe.
I don't remember. Apart from the Move and the Wii,
that's the closest one.
I don't remember again.
Yeah,
like
and quite recently, the House of Dead got remade on the Switch. And
yes, but again, then again, you don't use a gun. You might be able to use your remote, but again, you
don't get a gun for it. No.
So.
It's a shame, though.
It's an accessory I feel like is missing out, but then again, we don't get many gun games nowadays. I mentioned on a previous episode that I literally bought a Dreamcast because I wanted the Lost World gun game to come out. It was officially going to come out, and then it didn't come out. So that was another big loss with gun games. But it's one of those periods of video gaming I do miss a lot. And without that accessory to play those games, it's not worth playing those games. I have played House of the Dead without the gun at times. It's easier, of course, but it's a gun game. You need a gun for it. It would be much better with it. I do believe though that they remade GoldenEye for the PS3, and you could attach your Wii, your Move to the gun thing you were talking about to play that GoldenEye game.
That's incredible.
So you might, I don't know if you ever want to go back and go try it. If you still want it, but
weird they've forgotten that.
It's a part of my childhood and part of arcade games which I do miss a lot. And it is the light gun games. Yeah, that accessory had to go on there regardless. Plus, I feel really sexy with a gun in my hand. Please, someone bring back light guns.
Do it.
Bring them back home.
Yeah.
My number 2, light guns. John.
Nice.
Go on, John.
Keyboard.
It's a mouse.
It's a mouse.
No,
a printer.
It wasn't.
A mouse. It's got to be a mouse.
It was a keyboard and mouse, but. My favourite accessory is the Razer turret, which is a keyboard.
This is your number 2, yeah?
Yeah. That piece of kit, a lot of money to be fair. Yes, okay, but fuck me, is it good? Because it's so. I mean, like I said with the headset, I can run it. I can use it on a PC. I can use it on the Xbox. I've got a new PC now, which is a laptop connected to my big telly, and I can just sit there and with this on my lap, and I can game away. I haven't got to go and sit in the chair and look at the big screen.
What about the mouse?
I'm tempted to sell all of that, to be honest.
What about the mouse then?
It's all connected. It slides out.
Ah,
it's got the mouse mat slides into the keyboard and it slides out, and the mouse is magnetic, so it doesn't fall off. So it's not going to fall off on the floor or anything. It's magnetic. It stays on the keyboard,
nice,
and it still moves around.
How much was that?
250 quid.
Wow.
Damn.
But then I had my redundancy money, didn't I? So I got myself, I upgraded my kit, shall we say? So.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
It's not dog shit.
But 250 quid. That is clearly acceptable.
It was acceptable for me. Otherwise, I would have had to have got like a lap tray or something and get the keyboard and mouse from the PC and come and sit there and do it.
Amazing.
Whereas I can play the PC games on the Series X with this. And like I said, come back to what I said before. I am so shit with a controller. It's unreal. Which is why I play on a keyboard and mouse. And it's a lot of money. Yeah, I could have got any old keyboard and mouse, and it would have still done exactly.
If you had the money, mate, let's go back to that question. If you had the money, would you do it? And you did.
I had the money, so
absolutely.
I bought it.
So is your number one a Tip Matty then?
A what?
Tip Matty.
Tip mat? No.
Oh.
It's a mouse mat with tits that go on your wrist.
No. Oh yeah. No.
You've got one. Don't lie.
I had one. Yeah. We all had one, didn't we? Yeah.
Nice. Go call number 2.
Nice. Right. My number 2 is. Oh my God. Okay. I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast, but I'm going to say it because I had so much fun with this, and a lot of my friends did. It's the buzz controllers, the quiz controllers for the game.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say that, but
that's over the Move.
Oh man,
you need to swap that
I was
shit.
gonna say, I need to swap that over, right?
We'll let you
Damn
rearrange
it.
it after. We'll let you rearrange it.
Thank you. I'll rearrange it. Okay.
Well, let's
Okay,
just say
imagine
this
I
is your
rearrange
number
it.
3.
Okay, we'll say
The
this is
other
number
one- the
3.
move's number 2.
Number 2, it had to be. But the Buzz controllers were fantastic because again, this is when it was on the PS3 and DLCs weren't really a big thing back then. So when you'd get a whole new game with a new pack of questions. But when you're at university with a group of friends, the best, like you have your Buzz controllers and you just play that all evening, and the type of questions that were in that were really good. So you had your question ones, and then you had the ones a bit like these buzzers that we use in in the previous podcast here, like that. Exactly. They're just so much fun, right? Yeah. Exactly. And that was definitely really good because it was so abstract and different from something that you would have on a console. But the fact that they made this for like quiz games and the idea that maybe not just the company Buzz but other companies like maybe if they made a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game, if they made use of that, like ask the audience or something like that, it just had so much potential for that kind of genre game.
It was essential for the game as well, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, like imagine on a day like Christmas Day when everyone's at home and you want to play a video game. The one that everyone's going to get into are these kind of games, the quiz games. Not everyone's going to be into FIFA. No one's going to be into like Call of Duty and stuff like that. It's essentially these kind of games when you're with your family and friends. So to have that kind of peripheral was really, really good. And it was, make noises. And for something that was, back in 2010, that was quite good, it was quite interactive.
Some of the simplest little things do, like you were saying about the light for the Game Boy. Such a tiny little thing.
Such a small thing.
But I see the look on your face when you were talking about it, and it took you back there. You're a kid again.
I was on that bed already, just playing.
Yeah.
It's not about. It's like we've said before about the joystick and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not about the money.
No. It's about the experience.
It's the experience, isn't it?
Experience. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And
I said that about the last prostitute I had.
But yeah, that's
in
my
Red Dead.
That's your number 2?
That's my number 2. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Let's take it home with the number 1s.
Hey.
It's number 1.
Amazing.
Come on, big gal.
Okay.
And I think I got this.
Yeah.
God.
Does it involve multiple players?
You know what? I haven't put that in.
Wow. Okay, right. So I don't know what it is then. Go.
Okay.
So this piece of kit again is simple.
Yeah.
Simple. I think I've mentioned
That's how we. Yeah.
I've mentioned it before.
Come on.
But
go on.
when I left for school, there's 2 things I left with. Obviously, my bag,
school bag, and
my Game Boy,
of course,
in my inside pocket,
right,
and in my bag, I will have a cable link.
The cable link. That is essential. The best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you could connect 2 Game Boys together.
Yeah.
Oh, I get you now. Yeah.
The internet before the internet.
Of course.
It was like it. It's what
comes
made
from
this,
an honourable mention from.
This is why, I love Pokemon so much. And it was essentially I only used it for Pokemon.
So,
I only used it for Pokemon.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like I could play. When Pokemon was released, there's 2 versions. You either get red or blue or whatever.
It's like kids today with Top Trumps,
Diamond or
these little packs of cards.
Yeah, it's got a sense of collecting.
In your day, this was your Top.
But it wasn't just collecting. You can have battles.
Yeah, I know.
So we could be like, I could get up and need by Friday. I'm going to fight a mate of mine.
Yeah,
I have until 5 days of training with my Pokemon Light. Night Light. Play training in the night.
Of course, and he was probably doing the same thing.
Yeah, and then get home on Friday. It would be a massive battle between me and him, or it would be a group of us.
Yeah, it's genius.
And then it was
these
my
little things,
essential,
what they brought to you.
Yeah,
and then obviously my school, it wasn't the safest school. It was quite rough, but I was at an age it was okay. I was more enough, old enough to kind of defend myself. So, and we always find a nice spot where we can just be group of guys just fucking Pokemon battling with their cables out.
That's so cool.
That sounds wrong, but it was just fun.
The cables out.
And then it was I don't think at that time this game does that. It makes you go out of this world, and I have to meet another mate and see if he's got this Pokemon, so I can finish my collection. Or if fuck it, I want to see how strong you are. Let's my team against your team. That was just like, and you had this game, and then you had this extra 2 levels to a game that just made it more essential. And that link cable was fucking hell. I think I must have went through like 3 or 4. Yeah. And obviously it wasn't just the first ones. It was like I think it's blue. I mean, silver and gold, and then I think the pearl and other thing came out. But those 2 stages and the first 2 generations, my God, I've rinsed that game. And like I said, I know the school Game Boy Color. And a link cable.
Cable link, yeah.
Amazing.
Won't leave my house without that. And obviously, I'll do it at home as well.
Did you have that one day where you forgot the cable?
No. If I'm going to bring up my mate with it anyway. But but man, it was one of I think the one accessory that stayed with me the most. Like, I'll maybe say memory card, but the one that I utilized probably. Like so well, and just loved it. Just seeing the Pokemon just freaking transferring over, like the ball going through the wire. Yeah. It was just oh man, it was just so
for
cool,
that time
man.
as well.
That time, man.
And then obviously we'll have the detail of the person that transferred it from and the date and oh man, all those sort of data.
People with these Switches and Steam Decks, they don't know what it was like back then.
They don't know.
They ain't gonna show shit.
No idea.
King Kong don't have shit on me.
Yeah, exactly. Don't have shit on that link cable.
I don't know the pain, man. Sometimes you might have moved too soon and that Pokemon's gone and you're like, what? Like my level 90 Pokemon is gone. I was like, oh mate, it's the pain and the moment that you finish your 151 Pokemon and you're like, oh, I've finally done it, sort of thing. Or I think I don't think a certain Pokemon evolve as well only by transfers. So there's like 4 or 5 that I think Contour.
Was it Mew as well?
Abracadabra, and I think 2
There's
others.
a Pokemon called Abracadabra.
Abra is the first stage. Kadabra.
And then Abracadabra.
Is the third one.
Shut up. Seriously.
No way.
That was the third evolution, right?
Do you remember Alakazam?
Sick.
Yeah. It was in the Sword and the Stone.
Yeah.
That's what Melon used to go, Alakazam! Every time we get pissed off, we get Alakazam!
It's one of my favourite Pokemon, by the way, but yeah, man.
Anyone likes their Disney and that one talk about?
Yeah.
A link cable,
Sorcerer
nice. Never would have picked
That's
that.
really fun.
Yeah, I've thought about it so well, and I thought, this is.
You've done well, man. There was a good the last 2 ones are really good stories, man.
It's like what he said. Those things when you think about it, if I see one
You're
now,
kicking off about his keyboards and stuff, and you got a fucking cable and a light.
Yeah.
Oh, it does take. Oh man.
Yeah.
I wish
like I said, the look on your face alone.
Yeah, I wish I could go back now, man.
You've gone back 30 years.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I love when you do these episodes, man.
Yeah.
Emotional.
It's true.
I'm actually quite emotional.
Good time.
Anything else on it?
But it's a part of your life you can't get back.
Yeah.
But you can you'll always remember it.
And such a small little piece of plastic, shall we say.
And now it's on the internet for you to listen again and again.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you for this moment.
Thank you. No,
see, you should get a Game Boy and get one of those cables and keep it.
We should just do it on break, man, just to fucking
you should do it. Go retro. Go retro school.
Yeah. No, you know what it was. Sorry, I'm not going to just. It's when you play the game on the hardware, that limited hardware. Most of the things you're imagining things like it's not the best graphics. Like you're imagining how these creatures look. But then when you go out in the world and you're transferring and you're battling, that added a level to realism in my head. Like I'm actually doing.
You're actually
and that's what made it even more great. But now it's great. The Pokemon have evolved and the graphics are better, but. Nothing is compared to those games when it was so limited graphics and how my brain made it look like in my head what I'm playing. Like that's not how I envisioned the Pokemon looked like at that time because some of the things I put in myself to create in my head.
Yeah,
but so people will never understand it. No. It's a different feeling
unless they lived through that era.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's true.
Nice,
amazing.
I can't follow that. My number one, I think you pretty much all guessed it all. Mine is the Xbox Elite controller.
Hey.
It is the best controller, in my opinion, out there. Xbox have done an amazing... again, not just being Xbox fan, if PlayStation done it or Nintendo done it, I would have gone with them. But the fact that these guys come up with it first, a controller that is customizable to your gameplay.
Amazing.
And I'm not just talking about the actual buttons, the sticks, anything like that at all. It literally is how you want it to vibrate, how you want it to be, how sensitive you want it to be, how you can customize again, not being sexual here, the flaps underneath now are a feature of gaming. I can't play games without using the flaps now. I really can't. I play Xbox with my daughter sometimes. She gives me her controller, which is just the basic controller that comes with the console. I can't play with it.
Yeah,
it's so weird. It's so odd.
Missing so many buttons.
I've had an Elite controller since it came out in 2015. They are, very, very pricey controllers. But I do believe that they are the best thing ever to build around your style of gaming. For example, when it comes to Dark Souls games, we mentioned this in another episode. I have an issue using RB and right trigger as attacks. I fucking hate it. It does my nut. I've gone through another controller where Dark Souls had broken those buttons, but now I can customize it to be the normal attack buttons, which is X and Y, for example, in normal games. And now Dark Souls ain't got shit on me because I can use different buttons now. Fuck you, Dark Souls. But that's another thing. I do believe I do it for another game, which is like the Assassin's Creed games. They use the LB, RB attacks and whatnot. Can't stand it. But my controller can change that all up for me and help me play games the way I want to play games. And I love how it stops you having that limitation of not being able to do what you want to do with your controller. I do believe Xbox is doing now designer labs for Elite controllers now. I would love to get my hands on that, and so I can paint them all up and do. So I'm not just.
That's one thing I'm jealous of. Like the Xbox lab is awesome, man.
Brilliant.
So,
which again, other companies are going to copy now. So it's pretty much basic, but. As a controller, it's like when I play PlayStation 5, I find it tough because there's no triggers, there's no flaps on it. It's very odd for me to play games on that thing. So again, it takes me even longer to play with it. But I cannot deny, as a gamer now, especially when I play online games with you guys, where if you do Gears or something, as a pro gamer thing, it has better resistance to quicker reflexes. Your triggers can lock, so you can shoot faster as well and everything. I couldn't even beat Remnant from the Ashes if I didn't have an Elite controller, because the amount of times you need to pull down on that trigger to shoot your gun is fucking horrendous. But if I didn't have my trigger locks to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it. So again, another helpful mark on that one. I can see obviously a lot of pro players using these controllers. I believe Razer has done one as well, but unfortunately it's wired, it's not wireless, so that's the downside to it. But they're bound to do a wireless. There's bound to do a wireless one at some point, but again, apparently, if it's wired, you have even quicker reflexes to gun to your action.
That's probably why
not just
again
Elite one. I think Xbox have outdone themselves with even just a normal design of it. I think they've overtaken the DualShock. I think for a while, DualShock was like,
they have the money.
They
have the money. They take over these little companies and they incorporate their work into their, which is how it should be done.
And like you said, with the design lab things, again, it's built around you because you style it, you engrave it, you have it the way you want. You have the buttons the way you want. You have them spray painted the way you can have rubber grips on them for fuck's sake. Don't have to, but it's an option. There's just so much for the players.
At the end of the day, you're paying for it, and you're the one that's going to be waiting a while for it to come. So it might as well be how you want it.
It just offers so much more, and I cannot deny it had to be number one because, like I said, I can't play without it now. I've gotten so used to it. It's like John with controllers. He can't do it. No, I can't do it with normal controllers. It's not Elite controller. Don't bother giving it to me.
Absolutely.
So
that's the standard, isn't it?
So it's number one because it got me round Dark Souls games. John, number one, sir.
I have loads of things I could have picked. I still don't know what to pick, but I'm just going to pick one, and it might seem stupid, but Game Pass for me, because I would have had to have bought all those games to play them, and I don't have to buy them. I don't have to buy them games anymore.
So nice.
Well, it is. You don't have to have Game Pass if you don't want it.
It's a subscription technically, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Subscription. Should we give it to John?
We'll let him.
No, I've got loads of others. I can pick more. I've got another one.
We'll leave it to Gal. What do you reckon, Gal?
What do you reckon, Gal? Gal's going to be like, no!
I want those fucking tip matties.
Right, just for the sake of it, to say tip matty. We know it's Game Pass, but say tip matty.
Tip matty? No,
no.
We all had one of those. No, I've got other stuff. I've got IKEA are getting big into gaming.
IKEA?
And they've done some work with, I believe, I read somewhere, so don't quote me on it. I think they worked some of their stuff with Razer.
Okay.
And they've got this thing, the pronunciation's going to be fucking off. I think it's called Lanus Polare or something like that. It's a game. It's like it's their gaming section, shall we say? They do desks and chairs and all sorts of stuff. And one of the things they do there is this really, really weird thing. It's not very expensive, and it's like a pillow. And so, if you're gaming, and you can put it behind you, so you've got, it makes you more comfortable and stuff like that. But it's not just a pillow, because it folds out into like an hoodie. So in the evening, if you get a bit cold, you just undo it all, and it becomes like this hoodie, and you put it on you, and you can carry on gaming. That's a weird thing. I've got one of those. I must admit, if I'm going to be gaming for a couple of hours, like if my daughter's at work and whatever, and I'm at home and doing nothing, I'll sit there and put that on.
So Game Pass then, yeah?
Nice.
We'll give you the Game Pass, sir.
Yeah.
Why is it number one? Is it just because it saved you money on games?
Oh God, yeah. And they're instantly available, sort of thing, So I haven't got to go. I'll once you've downloaded them all. Some of them now it's all cloud gaming anyway.
And let's face it, Game Pass knocks out the park. Every month, I'm like, fuck, this is coming out. This is coming out.
Blown away.
And then they have Premier games and stuff.
It's giving me access to a game I've waited 7 years for. And, I don't have to pay for it.
No.
So I haven't played it yet, but I'm still waiting. But yeah,
I haven't played it
yet. So I'll probably wait another year till I get to play it. But yeah, Callisto Protocol came first. So yeah,
right.
But that Game Pass is awesome, dude. It's it's a good shout.
I was going to say Steam, but then, I know Game Pass is a subscription. I get what you're saying, but Steam you don't have to pay for, but I've got...
We'll let you have it. It's a good one.
That sort of a thing is what I mean.
You really mean Titty Matt, so we'll go call number one.
Let's put it in as an honourable mention, and we'll say that my number one was a Titty Matt.
Okay.
Lovely. All right, my number one is probably something that's classic. I grew up to this, and probably a peripheral that's revolutionary. Like it changed, in a sense, gaming controllers, for what it had, and it's the DualShock 2.
Oh, nice.
The one, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was my choice when I had to kind of two.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you put it there.
Because, it had.
So the DualShock controller was just like DualShock 1, but black.
DualShock 1. My bad. The DualShock 1. What am I talking about? The one on the PlayStation. Yeah,
which is
right. So the reason because of the analog sticks, right? Because I remember, so I'm buying a PlayStation, and in my head, I never knew this thing came out, and I was like begging my dad, parents for Christmas, I'm going to get a PlayStation. And in my head, the original PlayStation was the X controller, right? There, the small one, which is the standard one. Never knew that.
Looks so naked, isn't it? Without the controller.
That's the thing. But then it came out, and then I remember when I bought my first PlayStation, and the first game I ever wanted to play was WWF Warzone. That's the main reason why I bought the PlayStation. Absolutely, big wrestling fan. My friend was going on about it all year, and I was like, fuck you, your dad has a lot of money. It was great. And then I finally did get one, and I played it, and then I was like, what the hell is this on a controller? And it looks so alien. I was like, this is the worst money spent ever. Not to think that this is what was going to define gaming for the future. On every console after that, even Microsoft, all right, we'll just give into that. And it became the most useful thing, because for a gaming console, for games like Call of Duty, racing games and stuff like that, you make so much use of it. You can't have a controller without analog sticks anymore,
Because one's to move the controller, one to move the cameras around now.
Exactly, and it was just so, at the time, when the games came out on PlayStation, there wasn't much you can do with it, with the level of film.
But you got to thank N64 before that,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because they had the single one, didn't they? Yeah. Exactly. And it was great. And
I wonder if it wasn't for N64, we would still have that controller.
Yeah.
I think so.
Up until PS2, obviously, but
absolutely.
But it's interesting, isn't it? It's still unique to have just two like that.
Yeah, two.
Whereas Nintendo was like you had to play certain games almost to the side.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
that's the thing. Whereas that one, exactly.
But then again, would they have done that with the Nintendo 64? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So it was like at the time I was thinking about when we did the peripherals thing when you mentioned the episode, I was thinking that's something that's kind of kind of since I started gaming, that's the one thing that's always been consistent in every console I play. Even on the Xbox and even on the GameCube and stuff like that, it all had it. Even to the GameCube to some extent had the little like hexagon thing, right? And it had on the top, it had that. Like it was all just, I think every console, every game maker at the time and game, like company were like, we need to implement this, in order to open up the field of different controls and aspects and immersions and stuff like that. So. Yeah, but then, DualShock 2, it felt heavy. The trigger buttons.
Do you remember the first game that used the DualShock? DualShock 1?
No.
I'm not sure if you ever played it or if it was part of your time. Ape Escape?
Yes. Yeah.
That was the first one to be used.
You can flick
then it was... I swear, I remember...
And it was genius, because you can flick it to throw the
real
good. Yeah. It was really good. Flick it real good. So you flick it and that catches it. It was so good. Yeah.
It was Ape Escape, and then same era as when Metal Gear came out, because it's just
Psycho,
you do Metal Gear. Psycho moves the controller.
Dude,
so it must be.
It was.
And I think there's a demo for Ape Escape in one of the Metal Gear games. I remember Ape Escape and them together for some reason. I can't remember why.
Yeah,
because I think at the time you could buy it with Ape Escape, and then obviously Metal Gear and all that. All the others came because I think everyone was kicking off that. Gran Turismo was one that was used, that came out with that controller, but it was compatible with a DualShock as well. Yeah. And you would get, I don't know if you remember on the front of the box, back of the box, it might even have DualShock compatible on the back of it or something, Rumble compatible, whatever. Do you remember? And
it's really good. But
revolutionary
for me, literally revolutionary.
Lasted 4 generations.
Absolutely, yeah. The thing is still here. It's just mind blowing to think that this is not going to last. What games are going to use this, and it's the most important thing.
Again, like hats off to Xbox, man. I really think they're out. To beat a controller like for 4 generation, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Exactly.
That
and they started off with some sucky ones.
Yeah, 100%. And they've got a design that works for them now.
Absolutely.
Because I got to say, it feels
not
nice.
Broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I said
before. It's forced PlayStation changed their design to what they got now, and it's almost to a bulkier standard to what Xbox is now. So essentially, they're moving with Xbox.
Do you remember the PlayStation 3 when it first announced? And there was prototypes for the controller. It was like
a
boomerang.
Boomerang.
Could you imagine if that came out?
God.
Fuck me.
Oh, Jesus.
It kind of looked like the black. Like a Hawk,
the black guy,
the black aeroplane, the stealth bombers.
Yeah.
Look like
that's right. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know what the reason for that was. There's a story behind that. Apparently, it just didn't take off or something like that, and it was very hard on the hand.
You have that? People start using it. Dildo 2 ways or something.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Good shout, sir.
But then there's, like you say, I mean, there's so much money in gaming industry now. I think Microsoft have done the right thing in the sense that they are involving the gaming public in what they're producing. So
nice. Any honorable mentions? I'll go. Shall I go first quickly?
I'll do one.
Go.
Good.
The Resident Evil chainsaw.
I used to have that.
Did you?
I used to have that.
Work?
No way. The chainsaw didn't work, no, but you'd have the noise.
iToy and the Sega fishing rod.
Sega fishing. So where's the other thing? I was going to say. What was your number one? What's the? Come on.
Oh no, the DualShock.
No.
What do you mean?
Right, I'll say it first then. The multi-tap.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oh my god, the multi-tap.
The multi-tap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
The only way you can have more than 4 players on the PlayStation.
I was in there because I think there's 2 or 3 I've already talked about, so I didn't put it in there.
All right, so I've got the multi-tap. Does anyone remember a device called the PlayStation Pocket Station?
Was that the little Game Boy thing?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so do you remember the Dreamcast controller?
Yes,
not controller, memory card.
Yeah.
It came with little buttons and whatever.
That's right.
So it was essentially a memory card for the PlayStation.
Didn't they copy that off Dreamcast?
Yeah, that's what I said. Dreamcast did it first, and PlayStation tried to do it, attempted it. Didn't work out very well, but that's another one to mention.
My God.
Arcade sticks.
Yes,
standard arcade. Yeah.
Arcade sticks, the best way to play Killer Instincts with an arcade stick.
Absolutely.
PlayStation, Dreamcast memory one, and I mentioned it on a previous episode, which was the Ridge Racer controller with the steering wheel in the middle.
Oh yeah, you were saying.
Fucking loved that. A shame it was only worked for one game, but hey, it was a great little controller. Anyone else?
No. So I'm glad I didn't put the multi-tap in it, but I did speak about it.
I honestly thought that'd be in your top 5.
I did it. I did have
I'm
a
so happy
gaming
with
mat
my
in
list.
my list.
I'm so happy with my list.
Yeah. Amazing.
Nice.
That's good.
I think we did some there. We didn't really clash either, to be honest.
No.
So we did pretty
No
well.
clashes. Yeah.
There's not that many accessories,
But I hope
for a PC. I mean, other than a keyboard and a mouse.
No, but still,
a chair.
but still,
Keep the same motherboard. Fucking hell.
But still, at the end of the day, it upgrades your experience. You get better with it and whatnot. So
Exactly.
Mate, ultimately, if you think of it, everything on a PC is like an accessory. If you think about,
but
it.
then, you're just making your experience better for you.
Yeah.
That's why I've got a better chair and a better screen and a better.
I thought we were going to go into stories about memory and RAM.
But no, I mean, I remember a lot of the things that you guys were on about. Never played with them, never used them.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I know of them, so...
Hopefully we brought back some memories for people.
Oh, we definitely.
And I'm sure people will be like, oh, God, I remember that. I remember that.
I hope
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
Shall we leave it there?
Yeah.
We'll leave it there then, guys.
Great.
Oh, the wrong one. So, guys, if you like what you listen to, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B podcast or
on Instagram at M.T.V.B podcast.
Or on TikTok at M.T.V.B podcast 197.
Or on Twitter at M.T.V.B podcast 1.
Jesus, that was sexy.
It's like the nightcap.
So, guys, thank you for listening. Hope we brought back some nostalgia memories with those accessories.
Amazing.
And from myself, we're going to say goodbye. Ant-Man here, as well as
JK47, guys.
Go cool. Charm assist.
Grey Fox.
And we're going to say goodnight, guys. See you
Good night.
soon.
Peace out.
Peace out, guys.
Woo!